Margaret Fett,
Yes.
Jason Gasper.
Oh,
Jason,
John?
I mean,
What did you call me?
Jason, I'm sorry, Jason. I'm sorry, Jason, are you here?
I don't know any Jason Gasper, but I'm here.
Jason, no.
Thank you.
And then John Gasper
Here.
and David Hughes,
Here.
Barbara Kern. Barbara, you're here?
Here.
And Nikki is not here. So I think we're all here.
I'm here.
Nikki's here.
Yeah, for the record,
Hey,
Nikki is here.
Nikki.
Hi,
Good.
Bob.
Hi, Nikki. Good.
Bob, are you here? Because I don't know
I'm
what.
here.
No, he's never here.
So
You
we're
sure?
all present. We're all present. Okay, so let's go to approval of the minutes.
Chairman, please, just for record, B is next. Let's go approval of the agenda, and there's two
Oh, I'm
agenda.
sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Approval agenda. Thank you.
And then we need a
So-
motion, to,
You can't approve the agenda until we add what you want to add.
yeah, we need a motion. I would request a motion to add the two items. One is a motion to move F1 up to after new business so that Mr. Molesky from the Maplewood Area Historical Society could give his piece and doesn't have to hang around. And my other motion, or my other request for a motion, is add E2, a resolution to participate in the St. Paul Regional Water Services historic preservation process. So I would ask for those motions to be, I would
Okay.
request those
So
motions.
visitor presentations will move up after approval of minutes, after C, before new business. Okay?
So we need a second for
You
that
need
one.
a motion though, Bob.
Yeah, so Bob, can Bob make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Going on?
I'll
Visitor-
second it.
Okay, visitor presentations up after approval of the minutes. And then the second one is to move or to add under unfinished business, consideration to participate in consulting on the St. Paul Regional Water Services historic preservation.
I'll move that one.
Okay, is there a second? I'll second that. Okay,
Hang on one second, hang on one second.
Add, Bob,
yes.
is who's gonna be on the Ramsey County Historical from the commission?
Okay, we'll put that number 3. And I'll explain that as we get there, all right? Okay, so first off, approval of agenda. Is there a
I'll
motion?
move approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Approval of agenda and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we have an agenda. Approval of minutes. These are the minutes for November. Any questions on the minutes? Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, the minutes are approved. All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Just
New
a quick
business.
note for quick note for record keeping.
Oh, yes.
Who made the motion to approve the minutes?
Jason.
Jason
Thanks, Jason.
and then Barbara. Second. Okay, now we'll go to the move to visitor presentations. Thomas Molesky from the Maplewood Area Historical Society. TJ, are you there?
I am. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
I don't know if you can
Okay.
see.
Sorry, my internet went out at my apartment, so I had to quick get on the phone. So if you're seeing two images of me, I don't know what's going on. But members of the commission and everyone else, thanks for having me again this evening to join you for the HPC. Some updates with the Historical Society, Maplewood Area Historical Society. We are continuing to move forward with strategic planning, which we're hoping to wrap up mid-January. So that's an exciting thing that'll help us move forward with some great visioning for the future. We recently just had our first big event since I've taken office, and that was the draft from the past, which was on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. And several of you were there. I hope you had it out at the farm with Beer Choir Twin Cities in the barn with some patio heaters and some beer and some food from Minnesota Vikings food truck. It was a pretty great evening. I thought we did a great job of bringing the community together. One of the crowning achievements is that we heard from many, many people. I've lived in Maplewood for 20 years and I didn't know this place was here. And this is my first time here. And I didn't realize we had this in Maplewood. So I think that was a great use of the facility. And so I know Mark and Joe Sheeran was there. So I hope y'all had a good time. We also just wrapped up on Sunday our Breakfast with Santa, which is, I think, in its 12th year now. It was a great event as well. And yeah, so kind of a quick update with what's going on at the Historical Society. Anyone have any questions or comments, or can I answer anything for you?
Bob, real quick, you're on mute. You need to unmute.
Yeah, Bob, you're muted.
Okay, TJ, thank
my
you. Thank you for your participation tonight. And
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And I appreciate what the HBC is doing. So thanks, everyone.
thank you, TJ. Okay, let's move on to need to appoint a member to the
Water Department.
Ramsey County Historical Society. All right, is this what you were mentioning, Richard? Is that 3?
Well, you said the Water Department comes first and then the Ramsey County.
Yeah, so
Okay.
the order is going to be we're gonna then move in now we're going to move into goal setting,
Okay,
and then we're going to do Richard Curry's motion to approve a resolution or talk about a resolution to participate in Ramsey County Historic Preservation, and then E3 is the discussion on who to appoint to the Ramsey County Historical Society.
okay, good, thank you.
So if we want to move into that, I could share my screen and we could start the discussion on that. And Chair Cardinal, let me know how you want to proceed with that.
Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead. Can you hear me? Okay.
Okay, so a few weeks ago, between the November meeting and our current meeting, we sent out a survey of members of the commission and asked, what are your priorities? Here's a list of priorities. And these are priorities that were submitted to me by the commission. I compiled that list of priorities and I sent it back out to the commission to vote on. As you can see, I sent this outline, and that outline reflected the vote count, how many one votes we got, how many total votes we got. And this is these are proposed goals for 2022. And again, on the recommendation of on 2 commissioners, we decided that instead of this being a 1-year goal, let's look a little more broadly and try to make this a 2 to 3 year strategic plan. And there are some things here we could accomplish in 1 year. There are some things that are going to take us 2 to 3 years. And so when we sent this outline out, what was requested by staff was take a look, examine it. What we're hoping for is at least one outcome or at least two outcomes on each goal and a set of tactics to accomplish that goal. And then secondly, a timeline. Is it a 2-year timeline? Is it a 1-year timeline? And then this is not in here, but we're going to discuss this as we go. Who from the commission will be sort of the liaison for that goal? So that's where we are right now. I don't know if there's any one particular goal you want to start out with. Chronologically, we have support the Minnesota Area Historical Society with the Hmong display at the farm. Again, this is there because it had the most votes and it also had the most number 1 votes. This is not something that came out of thin air. This is something that was suggested by the commission. And again, I ranked it based upon what the commission decided to vote on. I think this could take on a number of different roles. Again, I understand Commissioner Kerry's concern about some of these things, but staff does have a little bit of authority, not authority, but staff does have some capacity to support MSA. We're not doing their work, but what we are doing is they're actually, in my opinion, the MSA is doing a lot of the legwork. And then we as a commission are then supporting that work and highlighting it to the broader community. So I don't know if anyone has any, I know Commissioner Cardinal or Chair Cardinal did send back a couple of suggestions. And Chair, I know a lot of times when we do these things, we tend to do a round robin and you kind of just go in order of each one. And I know the mayor, sometimes when she does these, she just assigns your first, your second, your third, and just keeps doing the round robin, and we could go from there. So I would totally leave it up to Chair Cardinal's call, but that's where we would start. And as you can see, everyone has or should have the goals in front of them. I have them in front of me here, but as we go, I plan on just kind of typing in the conversation as we have them, cleaning it up, and then hopefully in the January meeting, we'll have a clear, these are called goals, but a clear strategic plan for 2022 through say 2025. And at the January meeting, we could then approve that set of goals, which I will send out ahead of time. You can make amendments and then we discussion and then approval hopefully at the January meeting. But what I'm hoping in this meeting is that we have at least 1-2 outcomes and a set of tactics for each of these. And with that, I'll turn it back over to the chair.
Okay, thanks, Joe. I think what we'll do is we'll go through each of the proposed goals and we'll give every commissioner an opportunity to add. So I'm going to call on this first goal with the Hmong display at the farm. I'll call on Richard. Do you have a comment that you want to add? Richard?
I can see that. The only thing I say is we also have to go by Title 6 of the Civil Rights Act of 64 and Public Law 88-352 parentheses 6 or 7 8 static 241-42. I don't see any problem with it, but I would say we should keep it. Yes, the Hmong should be in, but you'll also, it should have other nationalities so that we're not being racist and just one segment of the population.
Okay.
We have black, we didn't do anything with the black. We did start out with the oral comments or history with anybody that showed up. So we keep it neutral. I think when we limit it or they limit it down, yes, you can have displays of the Hmong, but when it comes to oral histories, you can't, it has to be for everybody in the city.
Okay.
You can create a display honoring a specific culture without ostracizing every other culture. If you're suggesting we create a display for literally every culture that exists within Maplewood, we may as well quit now because there's not enough time in this world to get that done.
Okay,
I'm
so,
not saying that.
oh,
I'm
no.
saying,
Wait a minute. We're not gonna be doing this. Richard, you added that comment. We're not gonna combat anybody or throw anything out.
Well, I
Joe's
thought it
gonna,
was an open discussion. Why are you throwing out what I said?
no, I'm not throwing out. I said, we're not gonna debate it right now. Joe's gonna record our comments, okay? So Richard, are you finished?
that's right.
Okay, that's on number one. Jason, can you, do you want to add anything or?
No, I think I said my piece.
Okay, thanks, Jason. Margaret, do you have anything to add on this first goal? Margaret?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, Margaret.
I think this is a great goal because it is a high percent of the population that's Hmong. But I do appreciate what Jason said, that we can't, I mean, I'd like the Germans to be featured too, or, we all come from a lot of places, but I think the Hmong would be really interesting to explore.
Okay.
So let me back one step. The commission, the HPC, is not the one designing the program. The HPC's role in this is to help promote what the MSA does. So maybe to make this a little more, put a fine button on this, and to accommodate or to consider Commissioner Curry's point, instead of saying support MSA, Minnesota Area or Maplewood Area Historical Society with the Hmong display, we amended to say support Maplewood Area Historical Society's spring summer display, and whatever they decide the display is, we would support it. And I'm just going to suggest that, and I let the rest of the conversation.
Oh, that's good. That's how I tried to get through the last to you.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Thanks, Joe, for that clarification. Jason, did you have anything to add or comment on here?
Well, just that, talking about we shouldn't do this display because we might hurt these people's feelings. That's not our thing to get into. That's historical society stuff, and that's not what we're doing here.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad you pointed that out. Margaret, did you have anything to add?
No.
All right, and then we'll go to David. David, did you have anything on this goal? David? Is Barb there? Barbara?
Yep, I'm here.
Did you have anything to add on this goal?
Well, I have a question. When it says support, what does support mean? Does that mean just that we verbally say we appreciate what they're doing? Is it financial? Is it our time and effort? I guess I'm not clear on what the word support means. I mean, I think it's a great idea. I'm just asking, what do you mean by support?
So again, so as the facilitator, support is but support is what the commission decides support is. One suggestion of support would be to, in your role as commissioners, to attend these events, to help in your personal circles, help promote these events, spread flyers, let people know about these events. And that would be, and then also in coordination with your role as a commission, create or empower Maplewood's communications department and other departments in the city to help with marketing and promotion of this, of whatever the spring summer display at the farm is.
Thank you.
Okay, Barbara, anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, let's go back to Dave. Dave, are
Yeah,
you
I'm
there?
alive. I was
Okay.
muted. I'm alive
Okay.
now.
Thanks.
Now I'm less confused. I was just saying while I was muted, I was confused as heck as what we were talking about. So I would suggest that we make sure that, you know, part of what we do is communicate with some of the educators around, you know, the elementary schools, the middle schools. I know that local history is part of, it's either 5th or 6th grade education, and make sure that they know what's there. And if they want to go to the farm and see these displays as they set them up. I don't know if we can do anything in helping to acquire some of the things like story claws and pictures and other artifacts. If there's anything we can do to support that.
Okay. All right. John, are you there?
Yep.
Do you have any
I got a
comments?
question. Is it number 1 and 3 just about the same?
No, 1 and 3 are not the same. It's similar, but this is more, and again, this is, you know, we can morph and decide where we go from there. The oral history is more, again, to David's point, Commissioner's point is, in addition to helping acquire story clothes or artifacts, if the commission decides that's our role, another possible role is oral history. The place where the city of Maplewood has capacity that the Minnesota Area Historical Society doesn't have capacity, they don't have a videographer. They don't have someone on staff who would be able to do those oral history. So again, I get where you're saying, yeah, there is overlap, but again, where I saw the numbers come in is, it seems like there was that specific oral history piece that would be separate or in addition to the support MSA.
Okay.
Part of the oral history on here talks about not just the Hmong, but new immigrants.
Yeah.
Very good. Very
Karen, which would be people from, you know, other countries that are beginning to migrate here in pretty big numbers.
Okay. Thank you, David. John, are you, is that it for you?
Yep.
Hey, is Nikki there? Nikki, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, Nikki, did you want to contribute something here?
Yeah, I was listening and I agree with the supporting it. I think, when I first heard of supporting it, what came to my mind, and I think Joe already mentioned this, is making sure, we document it for the city, including like filming and things like that. So.
Okay. Thank you, Nikki. All right. We'll go to number 2. 2, create interactive website highlighting Maplewood historical documents, maps, oral history, market to schools and community.
That to me sounds like a good idea.
Okay, Richard, are you in favor of that?
Yes.
Okay, any other comments? Richard?
I'm in favor of that too.
John is? Okay.
I am too.
Margaret? Jason?
Yes, I'm in.
Okay. David?
Absolutely.
Okay. Chair Cardinal, I appreciate everyone's input on being in support of this. Your prior document has already indicated that you are in support of this. The sort of the purpose of this is to, what are pieces of Maplewood's historic documents? What are some specific documents? Where are some outlets? What are some ideas of giving staff some idea where to move forward on this? Is there any piece that we think is more valuable than other pieces? Is our maps more important, or not more important, but are maps sort of higher priority? Oral history is, so some direction for staff on what you'd like to see this be. And if it's, hey, we're gonna be, hey, we approve of this, staff come back to us, give us some ideas, I'm happy to facilitate that as well. But if the board, or I'm sorry, if the commission has any specific ideas on what they'd like to see, that's kind of the forum. This is the forum here to discuss that.
Okay, well,
Mayor?
yes, Richard.
They have, and one of the good spots to start with that, all the documents, and it's one of their members, Steve Carlson. They have all that stuff down in their basement that could start being put online and making a
Okay,
highlighter or whatever.
okay. Anyone else? Anyone else?
I'd like to see a document of a map, interactive map, to go see all those historical buildings or places in Maplewood. And I think that'd be great.
Okay,
To push, not, or to clarify, Commissioner Gaspar, are you looking for maps, a wayfinding map where, you know, the city has a printed out map or an online map that sort of has sort of a walking tour, for lack of a better term, where here are the spots in the city that would be interesting if you're interested in either doing a walking tour or a driving tour? Is that your suggestion?
What I'm looking for is a map. We started something like that a couple of years ago for the houses over 50 years old and stuff like that.
century,
A
century.
map that you could click on for houses like that, or businesses, or, you know, it could be used for many, many things.
I think
Okay.
Pete did a book on walking tour of Gladstone. That's out. I think that's in the society, has copies of that.
Okay. Margaret, anything?
So, okay.
I guess I wonder, how do we get this out to the people so they get interested? It's kind of like that event, you know, with the beer, that people didn't know about the barn. So I'm not sure, how do we get it out to the general public so that on a Sunday afternoon, families go around and look at all these historical things?
Okay, so there's a couple, again, as the communications person, there's a couple of outlets for that. One is obviously Maplewood Maplewood Living. So we would advertise it in Maplewood Living. We could work with the St. Paul Pioneer Press to do a story about it. This way people know about it. They could access it either on our website. The other thing is, as the Park and Natural Resources Department reforms, when I say reforms, it means they're kind of finding it, not finding it new, but they're going from the Park and Rec to Parks and Natural Resources, whereas natural resources and parks become more integrated. Having either a physical map or an on-screen display in the nature center, where when people visit the nature center to say go snowshoe or do something else, that display is front and center for them. These are just ideas. So there's a number of marketing. Once, again, to Commissioner Gaspar's point, once we put together, say, an interactive map that's clickable, or we put together a walking map that's printable and you could follow along. There's the marketing piece of it is, again, there's physical marketing at our park and recreation events. There's the, there's the traditional marketing of getting out in the newspaper and get it in Maplewood Living.
Okay. Anyone
Hey,
else?
Bob, we
Yeah.
have Jeb right with us right now.
What's that?
Joe, he's in charge of all the communication. He likes to take pictures.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Jason, anything to add here?
No.
David, anything to add here?
Well, I think if we're marketing again, if we're marketing to the schools, we're going to be, and then we're going to be marketing. The kids are going to go home and tell their mom and dad what this cool thing we played with on the computer at school today. And
Very good. Very
their
good.
hands are going to be, that's a great way to spread news, is to send it home the school memos and with themselves.
Okay. Barbara?
Oh, nothing to add.
Okay. John? John?
I'm okay.
Okay. Nikki? Anything?
Nothing really to add. Thanks, Bob.
Okay. All right. Okay, Joe, let's move on to number 3.
So again, I appreciate the clarification from the commissioner earlier. This is not only, I think again, to get to Commissioner Carey's point, I want to, maybe we don't specifically emphasize Hmong, but we understand that Hmong is a big piece of our recent immigrant community. I don't know if anybody has a discussion about that one way or the other, but what we want to do is, again, work with the Historical Society, not only Maplewoods, but the state's Historical Society, work with our friends at the Census Bureau, work with through Ramsey County to try to find our biggest issue when we tried to do this a couple of years ago to find stories along the 61 corridor, basically, is our traditional methods of getting to folks are not working. And so this is, again, oral history. What are some outcomes? What are the certain stories that you'd like to hear? And then where would you like these oral histories to be? Do you want them to be long, 20-minute pieces that sit in a repository? Or are they more interactive? Do they tell a story? Again, this is all up to the commission, but these are just ideas I'm laying out.
All right. So Richard, anything to add here?
So I agree with the oral history if we make it neutral, but yet if we can get Hmongs in there, we do them. We just don't put it in writing where you get somebody that will, what do I want to say, pick it apart, keep it neutral, but yet we can still do Hmongs, we can do whatever. That we did this during the 50th anniversary. We just had Channel 19 come down and they asked a bunch of questions and we videotaped them. And those are all at the farm right now.
Okay. Margaret?
We have
Nothing to add.
here and there.
Okay. Jason DeMo?
I'll remain tight-lipped on this one.
Okay, thank you. David?
Well, if we're talking about doing the interviews, what if we do the longer interviews? But if we're going to put them in interactive, if we wind up putting them in something interactive, we can put smaller pieces in there. And, maybe we don't limit it. Maybe we just call it, an oral history of Maplewood and split it into decades or something. I mean, it's not like the city's been a city that long, but there's probably still people around that know a lot of the original history that we're going to lose pretty soon if we don't
That's right.
tape them.
Yep.
Bob and I.
Yep. Okay.
We'll do
Barbara.
yours tonight, Richard.
Yeah, Barbara.
Yeah, we're both far. I got the original tractor. I grew up how to drive up by your place there. I used to cut hay.
Okay, Barbara, anything?
No, I just think doing the oral histories is really important. And the more the research